Jayden Higgins, 6'4", 214 pounds, and the route running to boot. I'm joined by Wyatt of DLF as we dive into this very, very intriguing prospect. Now, Jayden Higgins, one of the bigger bodies in this draft. As you said, we've seen a plethora of undersized slots in the last few years. Is Jayden Higgins bringing back that size and that potential X-receiver body to the NFL that we're starved for right now?
Yeah, I'm really excited for Higgins. Another player that I think I'm going to be ahead of market on pretty easily, just because of that really impressive size, speed. His wingspan additionally is really impressive. Like, he has an abnormally large wingspan for his height as well. Really good hands, moves really well for his size, so much so that he was able to play in the slot at times. He actually played 29% of his snaps in the slot in 2024, which I think is impressive for someone of his size. Normally, you don't really see that, but it shows how well he's able to move, how agile he is for his size. And that, I think, is also a great way in which he could be used in the NFL, getting some time in the slot. And then, looking at his numbers, we have to remember played with Jaylen Royals, but I'm sure we'll get into that.
Yeah, I really like Higgins. I think anytime you've got a guy that's 6'4 plus that moves and has the foot speed the way he does, that has the nuanced route running that he does, I'm immediately going to be intrigued. I think, yeah, as you said, given the size, given the frame, the way that he is so smooth in and out of his breaks, the way he can break down defenders, I think is really, really impressive. And that makes me intrigued because I think those are transferable skills that translate really well to the next level. I do have a slight concern about him versus press. And I think if we're going to pigeonhole him as an X receiver, that's a slight concern. But as you said, the fact that he can go into the slot, maybe he doesn't have to be an X as a rookie, and we can still get him on the field as that kind of big slot, maybe line him up as the flanker, and then sprinkle in some X snaps that he can work on and increase the amount there as he starts to work on that release package. I'd be more intrigued. But in terms of, the, I guess, more intangible elements of the position, not just the size, the speed, but that route running, that understanding of kind of defensive, when to sit, when to run versus zone. He ticks those boxes, and that always gets me very, very excited. But before we dig in a little bit deeper, if you haven't hit that subscribe button, I guarantee you are missing out. Go ahead and hit subscribe. We've got plenty of content. And of course, best ball season is just around the corner. As we look at numbers, as you can see, junior year, really impressive. Senior year is where he really blew up, though. 1,100 yards, 87 catches. Do you think that those sort of numbers, as you said, sharing an offense with another day 2 draft pick probably in the NFL draft this year, do you think that hints at maybe even more of a ceiling than we saw in college? Or do you think he's going to be that sort of 1B in an offense as a best case scenario?
I'm definitely giving him like the benefit of the doubt of playing with Jaylen Royals. I think they're both really good prospects. So I think it makes sense that they would hurt each other in a way from being, completely dominant alphas in any offense. I think of the two, Higgins is the one who can grow the most into possibly that full-on alpha in the NFL, but I'm sure we can talk about that a little bit more later. But yes, I think with Higgins, I do think that I'm going to discount, or give him that like little benefit of the doubt working with Jaylen Royals, that I think that he can become a full-on number 1 in the NFL.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the other thing is I had a knock on him on tape of that top end speed. I didn't see him run away from defenders a huge amount. He then runs a 4.47 at the combine. And it's like, okay, maybe I need to go back and watch this because, he clearly has enough speed. But I would like to see him, separate deep against defenders a little bit more rather than just relying on that kind of frame and body control in order to secure the deeper catches.